The Self-Publishing Advice Conference, SelfPubCon 2025, brings indie authors from around the world together for 2 days of insight, inspiration, and connection. It's live online October 18 and 19 and free to attend. Get early access to our international competition and all the latest conference updates at selfpublishingadvice.org/conference-2025. Welcome to Self-Publishing with Ally from the Alliance of Independent Authors. This week, it's our advice stream focusing on branding, marketing, and promotion. Join host Dale L. Roberts as he interviews the brightest minds, experts, and insiders in the writing and self-publishing business. Get actionable insights to help you level up your author brand and reach more readers. And here's your host for the Self-Publishing with Ally podcast, Dale L. Roberts.
TikTok is a short-form video platform with millions of daily users known for everything from entertainment to education. While it started as a hub for viral dance trends, it has since grown into a place where creators of all kinds share content, including authors looking to promote their books. In this episode, I speak with Marvin Way, the founder of AuthorScale, about a creative book marketing strategy that involves using slideshow content on TikTok. Yeah, I was blown away when I heard it, and I thought it was too good to be true until I sat down with him. We explore how the format works, how it can be used to capture reader interest, and what authors should consider before diving in. Let's go ahead and dive into this interview now. Okay, Marvin, you and I got connected through some of our mutual friends at the Alliance of Independent Authors, so I am really geeked up about 2 items you shared, and that you're crushing it on TikTok, but with this strange, like, slideshow type element that is selling more books. So let's walk it back. Share with me just a big macro view, an overhead view of what this process looks like and what it means. Because, man, when you shared this, I was like, oh, man, I want to hear more.
Sure. First of all, thanks, Dale, for having me on the podcast. Slideshows are basically a piece of content that narrate a scene from the book. Could be any book, could be any genre, but it's basically like a book trailer narrated through a sequence of text distributed throughout different slides. Like when you talk with regular people about the slideshows, they mean usually like a carousel, like different pictures, and you showcase some vacation pictures. But in the context of book talk, this is basically narrating the scene of a book in a very, let's say, lo-fi production. It's just text on top of an image, and then 4 or 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 slideshows. Now, what seems very lo-fi, let's say from the surface, is actually a lot of work because you need to brainstorm the hooks, right? People on TikTok or on Instagram, they have like attention spans of a goldfish, right? So they keep scrolling,
Yeah.
keep scrolling. But luckily there is this book talk or Bookstagram bubble where people recognize bookish content. So if they're into books, they will give it a shot. They will say, oh, this I recognize because it's been a trend that has been gone for a couple of years now. So if your if your opening line is good, if it's like something that you can kind of relate to or you maybe feel in the scene, it's like a POV situation. Like imagine that your boyfriend just broke up with you and something like that. It's like, okay, wait a second. And then you go to the second slide and you get hooked. Then you want to learn more about the book and you find out it's a book. You go get it, you buy it, or it's on Kindle Unlimited. And this kind of strategy has catapulted a lot of indie authors to the top charts on Amazon because they were able to find a systematic approach to it. They were churning out 3 or 4 slideshows a day across different accounts.
Whoa.
And when you start doing that, every slideshow is like a lottery ticket, right? So you start building up an account with a reproducible strategy where you don't have to show your face. So authors that are especially fiction authors, mostly shy personalities, they really jumped on that. And then there were a lot of examples 2 or 3 years ago where authors went viral and had like a post reaching a couple million views and their book reaching the number 2 or 3 overall on Amazon. And then authors started copying that approach. And well, I think now we're getting kind of into the story of what we're offering as a company, but in the macro context, to answer your question, this is what slideshows are in the book context.
Very interesting. Now, are these authors, are they just strictly publishing these slideshows on their TikTok feed or, other vertical video short form like platforms? Is that all they're doing, or are they mixing it up and putting some other things in there as well? Because boy, 3 to 4, that's a lot of content throughout the day. And I'll get to that, of course, obviously in a bit.
So what authors started doing is usually they have their author account, their pen name account, and they have like other accounts where they're mimicking some reader account, right? The account could be called Dark Romance Reader 27, right? So it's basically that they are pretending to be a reader, and it's just this type of content. There's nothing else. If you scroll through it, you kind of see the pattern, and it's something. It's no secret, right? When authors ask me, but how does it look like? I tell them go to the top charts on Amazon in your niche, and just check out the top 20 authors on TikTok. Just Google their name, TikTok, check what they're doing. Chances are many of them are utilizing that strategy. So you should too.
Interesting. So now when you're talking about Slideshow, how are we producing the video? Is it strictly through the Slideshow that we're creating video, or can we use other things like, say, DaVinci Resolve or Camtasia or even iMovie?
Well, those are, or even CapCut, right? Those are editing tools that you don't need for this, right? So this is really lo-fi.
Toss it out the window. All the training I've had over the last 10 years now, it's no longer needed.
there is, and I have a background in publishing for over 10 years. And when I work at one of the big reading apps, we did, we had a lot of money, funding from investors. We did those fancy trailers with stock video, or sometimes we hired actors, epic trailers with crazy cuts to the beats, and then you would publish them. Nothing happens.
Nothing.
Right?
Crickets.
So,
yeah.
and then you have, and then we're also jumping on that slideshow trend, like some text on top of a kind of pixelated image, went viral. So it's really crazy. It's really crazy how you kind of can ditch your professional editing, movie editing skills and just focus on storytelling. This is kind of the magic of hooks, right? It's readers are reading for a reason. That they're reading words, right? So it's not about, it's not a movie that we're trying to pitch. We're trying to pitch a book. A book consists of letters. So kind of makes sense to use the letters to pitch the book in a compelling way.
So the focus is more on the text than it is on like the visual aesthetics. It's like, let's get the text up there so that's readable and people can read along. Now, question for you would be, do I put narration along with that text that's appearing on the screen during the slideshow? Or is that something that you automate through, like, say, digital voices, like AI voice, if you will?
Well, the posts that were referred to, they don't have narration. We're experimenting with narration, especially for audiobooks. Obviously, you want to kind of mimic the feeling of an audiobook. But right now, let's say for just like written text, written books, it's enough. You don't need a voice. It would be an overkill, right? People are not expecting it.
Interesting. So it's almost like they're scrolling through. They see that visual aspect and go, okay, this is about a book. Let me slow down and read this. So instantly makes me think here, is there a specific pacing that we want to follow? Because obviously if we're sharing like snippets from our book, we probably don't want to have like 5 paragraphs on one page, right?
There is strategies. Let's say, to reveal one strategy, let's say you have 10 slides in a slideshow. Obviously, like you want the first 9 to be super, or the first few to be super short, digestible, right? But as people invest more time in the slideshow, you can afford to get longer and longer and longer, which in turn will make the people stay longer on the post, which will signal to the algorithm, hey, people stick around, so probably it's a good post, so let's show it to more people, and you will be probably going more viral, right? So there is even, I mean, when I talk about slideshows, it could be both. It can be like an actual slidable slideshow, but it can also be a video. Like some authors did like book flipping backgrounds where they would just take a book, record their hands, how they flip through the pages, and then they would put the text on top of it, and the text just appears on a video, right? That's also, I also refer to that when I mean slideshow. And there you can basically, there was a trick where people would kind of in the last 2 seconds, they would show such a long paragraph of text, which obviously wasn't enough to read. So the video would start again.
Oh my gosh, that's genius. So then they're having to go back and watch it through all over again,
Yeah, exactly.
increasing your watch time. Now, see, I'm nerding out on things like this because all video platforms function on watch time. If you can get a viewer to watch longer, the platform is going to reward you with even more viewers. And so, oh my gosh, it's sneaky. It's sneaky, but
it is
highly effective because you're building it up, small bite-sized chunks. And then we get to the last one and, oh my gosh, I didn't read okay, I'll go back and read it now. Hence why I think that voiceover, putting it in there, probably will ruin that because obviously you need to go through and rush through, whereas it almost seems like, oh gosh, that person did a slight error. They put 3 paragraphs in that last one. Let me watch it all the way through so that way I see it again. Man, this is absolute genius level. Now, you have to give me another one because that right there is an amazing tip that you can use on any platform.
Well, give me a second to think.
He's thinking about it. Obviously, I've put him on the spot, and I'm sure you don't want to give away too much because obviously no one's going to come to get your services if you give all your secrets away, right?
No, we'll try to be pretty open about the kind of sharing as much value as possible because there's always new strategies. I mean, right now we see a trend to longer slideshows, like really like 25, 30. I think the maximum on TikTok is something like 30 or 35 slides. So basically, you increase this by just putting more slides, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say is the ideal length for a video that functions the best? Because obviously we can do, I think TikTok allows up to 10 minutes, and you can have anywhere from 15 seconds or greater, if I can recall, or even less than that if you wanted to. So what is the ideal length? What have you found converts the best?
So I guess the ideal number changes over time. When we kind of analyze the markets, we look at the average and median length of slideshows. And right now it seems to be like at 25. So from the accounts that we analyze, it's getting more and more, right?
So that's 25 slides. How long is that altogether for a video? Is that something that you've ever tracked?
I would need to check the number. Right now, what I have in mind is just the number. If I'm talking about image slideshows, right? So 25 kind of images. But then the video would be probably over a minute or something.
Oh, okay. So it's going at a pretty good clip with that specific one. So we should try to aim maybe for like a minute or so. Is there a sweet spot below that? Or is there something better than that?
It depends on the genre, right? So I'm always hesitant to give like a genre, a kind of general advice because it's kind of very specific to the very genre that you're writing. I mean, there's also examples of slideshows that went viral with 2 slides where it's just an image and some mediocre hook, I would say, but it just goes viral. Sometimes when I spent the last few years trying to study virality, and sometimes there's like, now you know the formula, but then you see an example where it doesn't happen. So it's also a lot about trial and error. I think if I learned something about virality, it's that the platforms reward you for usage, right? And obviously kind of they want to reward the most, the creators that are on the platform, trying to put some love into it. It also comes with very normal stuff like engaging on your account, following other people, providing value, commenting on their posts. Like this is something that sometimes authors neglect, right? When they hear me talk about slideshows or they hear other authors and they check their accounts, they think, okay, I'm just doing this once a day. And then I'm just going into TikTok, posting it, going out, nothing will happen. And then they're kind of disappointed. But it does take the work, right? So you can automate some parts of it, but some parts you will never be able to automate. Otherwise, TikTok will think you're a bot. And obviously, we know what happens to bots, right?
They want you to be fully engaged in their platform and not just showing up, eating the all-you-can-eat buffet and then bouncing. So it's so important that you do engage with other authors that are probably doing the same thing, people within your niche. Now, this leads me to another question that pops up off the top of my head, and it's metadata. How are you titling it? Are hashtags relevant? And of course, links. How are we getting people from TikTok over to our book? Are we setting up TikTok Shop, or are we verbally saying, go pick it up on Amazon? How does that look?
About metadata, I think it was the Instagram CEO himself who made a post where he said hashtags don't matter at all. Right now, that's
really,
that's you can look it up on his profile. So probably I haven't seen a statement by TikTok, but what we do is like 3 to 5, maybe 6, 7 hashtags. But I don't think hashtags play a huge role, right? Because those platforms, they get better at the semantic understanding of what your post is about, right? And their goal is to serve it to people that might be interested in it, right? It's not like that you are labeling it with a certain hashtag, and just because you labeled it for you page, it will go to the For You page. That's bullshit. It will. They're really good, right? They're getting better at understanding what this post is about and serving it to like a subset of people. If they like it, they will give it to more people. That's with respect to metadata, what we've seen kind of people putting too much effort into, right? So if you have only so much time, so rather spend the time on churning out as much content as possible, and don't over obsess over hashtags and if the image was if the hook was perfect, like rather have 3 mediocre hooks than 1 perfect hook.
Okay.
I forgot the other
about
pieces.
Getting the volume up that we see the real success come through. It's showing up to bat as often as you possibly can. Now, would you discourage somebody away from doing 1 per day if that's the only time that they have?
Well, I'm biased because I represent AuthorScale, and we have this tool, right, where authors can upload their manuscripts, and the tool spits out the posts for them. Right.
Get out of here. That is amazing. So it automates most of this anyway. So it removes a lot of that friction then.
Yeah. So there's no excuse to not be posting more, right? Because it's literally upload your book, the AI scans your book, and then finds the scenes in your book that are worth marketable, and then turns them into slideshows already with background images. And there you are. Like, you just have to post them, right?
Wow. Oh my gosh. All right. So back to the one question I kind of lumped in with the other ones, which is, how do we get our viewers from TikTok to buying our book? Are we putting the link inside our metadata, or are we saying it inside the video? How does that look?
So on TikTok, if you have more than 1,000 followers, you can put the link in the bio, right? But even if you don't, and what authors tend to do is that they have a link tree where they have like different kind of books and their website, their newsletter, different things. But so the interesting thing is that when there is a viral post and you see the royalties go up on Amazon, and you analyze how many clicks you had on the link tree, it never matches up. It's always a fraction, which means that Amazon has such an authority in the space for, if people know it's a book, they go to Amazon and they search it there.
They're automatically going. They don't even need the link.
Not even Google, right? So sometimes maybe back to your previous question about another kind of algorithm hack. Now I have another one that came to my mind, is not mentioning the book title at all for a day, right? Because if it's a good slideshow, people will ask in the comments, what's the book? And there's like 20.
Oh my gosh, that's a genius, because then you force them to go and ask. And then that, of course, that engagement increases it, boosts relevance, and serves your video out. I'm telling you right now, you've given me 2 tips that I believe will even not just work on TikTok. It would definitely work on a place like YouTube Shorts or even Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry for my excitement. I interrupted you on that one. Continue.
No, I'm happy for your enthusiasm. Well, I mean, you nailed it already, right? You have to find the sweet spot, because people also get angry. They're like, Jesus, just reveal the title, right? And then you see 20 people commenting, and then you go in and then you reply to them. And you see as soon as you reply to them, nobody else will ask anymore. So you gave it this initial boost of people asking and kind of the algorithm knowing, okay, people are engaging, people are asking something here. That's also a really good strategy.
Oh my gosh, it's withholding that information. They're already hooked, they're engaging, and then when they find it out, they go look for it. I think that's just simply stellar. I think about over on YouTube something very similar where there will be like movie summaries. From every now and then I'll go check out movie summaries, but they won't have the title inside the title of the video. It's like, man loses his head in this movie. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm better go and watch it. And I'm like, what's the name of this movie? And of course, naturally, where do I go? I go to the comments, and that's where I will see the answer. There's the title to the movie. It's deliberate. And gosh, there's probably some people here are listening to this right now going, oh my gosh, what are they doing? But I mean, to me, I feel like it's a great way to get people engaging without weird clickbait titles or anything else like that. It's getting it to where they engage in an honest way. And wow. All right. So getting them to the TikTok over to Amazon is way easier. We can have that link tree. Sure, it's going to drive some traffic, but a lot of the traffic is going to come organically speaking, because people are just going to go look for it. And especially if you go wide. So have you found much success for authors that are publishing wide using this strategy? Meaning that, are they seeing library sales? Are they seeing more sales beyond Amazon?
Yeah, that's happening definitely. So authors report when they have a viral post, if it's a super viral post, even another book that they didn't even promote will get a spike, right? Because some authors especially in romance, those readers they read, I don't know, 5 books a day, it feels like, right? So they will they already read the book, the series, and then they're like, oh, I want more of this author. Oh, there is another book there. And then some authors have kind of a hybrid strategy where they're partly KU and partly wide. So then it works for it's basically virality, and then you just decide where to redirect the traffic to, right? It just happens that Amazon is kind of the default go-to. If it's harder, we're trying it with now. We're experimenting with Kickstarter, so driving traffic to a Kickstarter. This is like really, really in the beginning, so I cannot say too much about it. But if it's about redirecting traffic somewhere else, it's always a bit harder, right? So Amazon is definitely the easiest. This I will say.
Very cool. It's good to know that whether we're exclusive to Amazon or publishing elsewhere, this is going to work regardless. So you've brought up a word time and again, and I hate to sound like a boomer, but maybe we got to break it down here on this one. Going viral. What does going viral mean? And what's the metric that we need to pay attention to in order to know that we've gone viral?
I mean, what people mean when they say it went viral is that it reached, it's reached a lot of people with little marketing effort, right? With no budget, so to speak. So a Facebook ad doesn't go viral. You just spend more and you reach more people. But an organic post, like a slideshow post, right? If you only had like 300 views per post, and then all of a sudden you have one reaching 20,000, this author will already say, oh my God, I went viral, right? So it's always a relative game. But I mean, what we refer to when we say viral, it's like 6-figure view numbers, right? So more than
100,000 or greater then. Yeah. So it's very interesting. Now, what if a video doesn't go viral? Can I still expect to see some results from it? Or do we have to go viral in order to see book sales?
I mean, there is a strategy, like when you have like one account and you post 3 times a day and you only get 500 views on each post, you will still see an increase in your sales, right? It's that's the beauty right now of TikTok, especially, that if you put out a piece of content, you will immediately get 300 views, right? Unless so something is happening and you're shadow banned or something. But those 300 views, there's even different businesses that have made that are capitalizing on it, right? They're not going viral, but they have like let's say 100 freelancers that, and I'm not exaggerating, that are taking a book and posting on 5 accounts on each freelancer. So they have like every day 3,000 posts going out, and they only have a couple hundred views, but they accumulate, right? So obviously, if you have like one viral video, this will have an even greater spike in royalties than a few small ones stacking up. So there's there is this effect also. But I mean, that's why I'm so bullish on the slideshow strategy, because when authors start using our tool and they get help with the posts and they post 3 times a day, they already made the money back that the tool costs. So, and that they're kind of motivated. And many first-time authors have never seen any kind of interesting numbers on their books. So yeah, anything is really worth it on that end.
That's good. That's good. So it's authors shouldn't be discouraged if they're not seeing viral numbers, because there's going to be a compounding return as long as they stay consistent with the volume of uploads daily.
Obviously, you want to see progress, right? So you cannot stay forever in the 300 view jail is what they call it, right? If you're kind of stuck in this jail. and what people report is like, when they hit a video that reaches 1,000 views, then the next videos are also more likely to hit 1,000 views, and it's kind of a gradual increase. But again, it boils down to being consistent on the platform and putting some love into the accounts, right? This is never going to be automatable.
Very cool. I wonder now we're going to obviously talk a little bit about author scale before we disconnect here. If someone were to say right now, Marvin, look, man, I just don't have any money right now to invest in your software, what's the best first steps for them to take? Is there specific software like Canva, PowerPoint, Keynote? What is the software we would want to tap into?
I mean, Canva, there's a free version, right? What I would say is, first of all, it starts with writing hooks, right? It takes a completely different mindset, writing a book versus writing a hook, right? When you're writing a book, it's like you're in your artistic world and you want to build the world and you're super creative. But hook writing is marketing, right? It's like, how do I capture attention? So many authors already struggled on that end. It's like, oh my God, I have written this book. And the smart authors, or the ones that are a bit more with marketing in mind, they already write the book with marketing hooks in it, right? They write the book and say, okay, this I'm going to use for marketing. This is a scene that I want to use for marketing, right?
I think you've been paying attention to me behind the scenes. That's what I've been doing.
Exactly.
Nonfiction, it's easy to do that way.
Exactly. Even in fiction, right? You have this scene where this happens. And so if you do that, it's better because you already kind of know how to market it. But if you're, most authors are like, okay, so now I have this book. Now how to market it? Then you have to teach them how to do hook writing, right? So here, luckily, if the AI is still a bit there's still a big controversy about AI in the author world, especially. But it's kind of loosening up a bit. People are accepting it more and more in the process. So if you kind of don't have any, there is even I'm thinking here, I wouldn't use the free version of ChatGPT or so, because anything you upload there is going to be used for training purposes. You need to be using professional APIs to opt out of this. So what
maybe
I would
like
say,
Notebook LM, maybe?
Notebook LM, I don't know if you can.
I don't think
out.
they train LLMs
They
there.
don't?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, any AI.
I could be wrong. Well, hopefully a listener's not listening right now going, Dale, you're wrong.
Well, if there is an AI that is free, that doesn't use your book for training purpose, because that's what people hate, you can use it as your sparring partner. You can upload chapters, right? Hey, here's a chapter. Please let me know a hook that I can use for marketing. And then you prompt it a bit about, what's important in marketing. It's important that the first hook is great. So you do this, you kind of come up with your own prompt, and then it gives you a couple of ideas, right? And then you're going to start learning about hook writing. So how it is to write hooks. And then the next step is assembling the post, right? So basically you just take the hooks, you distribute them across different slides. You go and find a stock image that kind of represents the mood of your slideshow. And some people go to Pinterest. I'm not, let's say, openly promoting this because this is a kind of copyrights, right? But a lot of people do this. They just go to Pinterest and there's beautiful images. They take it and then they put the text on top of it. And that's it. Go to TikTok, open the app, use the image, copy paste the text on each slide, pick a sound, couple hashtags, post it, right? Do it once a day. It will cost you maybe half an hour, right? But this is kind of when this is something that anyone can do, right? On the toilet or something.
I don't know. Marvin, why'd you pick the toilet, man? It could have been in bed.
Could have been in bed, yeah.
Yeah, well, I tell you, we can talk about this all day long. We're getting to the end of our half hour here. I do appreciate you sharing the fact that some people can be able to do it on their own. But of course, if they want to scale it, you obviously have the answer. So how can our listeners get in touch with you, find out more about your services and whatnot? And of course, if you've got anybody that you'd like to shout out here on the Ally episode, let me know.
Well, I mean, people can get in touch with me via marvin@authorscale.com. Or just visit authorscale.com and reach out to support or in our Discord group. We have a very active Discord group that you can just DM us directly. And basically what we do at Authorscale is we help you automate this entire slideshow strategy that we were just talking about, right? You just upload your book. We have very secure APIs to all the AIs. None of this is going to be used for training purposes. We don't store anything beyond your permission. If you can delete the book at any time, you can also just upload a couple of chapters, and then you click a button and the slides are being generated. And then, next step, you pick the images. There is also an AI integration that puts the images right away. And then there is a TikTok integration where you can click a button and then it lands in your TikTok draft. So you basically work on your computer. Let's say for an hour, you finish 20 slideshows. You send them all to your TikTok phone or to your phone, or you schedule them out. You say, today, send me 5, tomorrow, send me 5, the next day, send me 5. So then you're kind of covered for the week. You will get the notifications to your TikTok, and you can just post them manually, right? And focus on opening the app, engaging, and following the right people and learning from other authors also. So that's what we do at Authorscale. And we're happy for anyone to kind of get in touch if you want to try the service. Hit me up. Also, we can arrange a free trial if anyone needs it. We have kind of a free trial anyway, so you can get a couple of slideshows for free before you have to commit to any payment. But we're super flexible, right? We're trying to provide a great service, and especially we're trying to make authors more money than it costs them to use the tool. So this is only a win-win. It only works if it works for authors.
Sounds good, Marvin. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Dale, for having me. Appreciate it.
You've been listening to the Branding, Marketing, and Promotion stream of the Self-Publishing with Ally podcast with Dale L. Roberts. And if you haven't already, we invite you to join our organization and become a self-publishing ally. You can do that at allianceindependentauthors.org.